So my journey, if I had to summarize it, and it's been an incredible journey to a level of peace and wonder that I would never have dreamed possible. But if I had to describe that journey in the simplest way possible, it's been a journey of lightening the feck up. That I took life way, way too seriously. I took myself way, way too seriously. I took other people way too seriously. And it was that intensity that was making my life at times appear incredibly tough. And it was that, that interpretation of life, the one where I kind of was assuming so much, that I was running away from all the time. And the solution has been this over time, this undermining of all of these assumptions that I was making. That actually I've got no idea about any of that stuff that I used to be so sure about. That I don't know what this life is, I don't know what I am. And I don't expect to find out. That idea of finding out just seems ridiculous to me, because the idea that this can be somehow put into words and put into a little explanation just seems ridiculous to me now. So this kind of journey of lightening the feck up is also this journey of kind of, waking up to how incredible all of this is, how incredible it is to experience anything. And it was kind of that growing, appreciation of just how, incredible everything is. That's been the most important thing, and it's that kind of seeing that and opening up to that, that's all the other stuff just stops even being even a consideration anymore. So, I wrote a blog post recently about how a big driving force for a long time in my life was my fear of death. So for a long time I was afraid of dying, and there's kind of lots of explanations. Even as a kid, I remember first finding out about dying, and it kind of I suppose at 6 or 7, and that would kind of keep me awake at night. And then as a teenager, I came across a suicide victim, and that kind of re-triggered all of that thinking about dying. And then I eventually kind of trained as a nurse, and I kind of saw a lot of people die during that process, and it's like this was an ongoing concern of mine that really troubled me. But what changed is not that I ever came across any answer to what happens when we die. I've got absolutely no idea what happens when we die. In fact, I don't even know if it's a suitable question or a reasonable question, because I don't know what this is. One of the even before I had those concerns about dying, a bigger concern of mine was why other people seem to take this so. How they could be so sure about their ideas about what this is, that it always seemed a bit dreamlike to me, especially as a young child, and I just was confused how everyone was so sure that they knew what this was, because it never seemed that way to me. Now, as I grew up, I learned not to ask those kinds of questions, or even it seemed forbidden to even think that way, but it never actually went away. And that I really do not know what this is. I've no idea what this is. And the more I've been able to lighten up, the more dreamlike it's returned to. And it seems to now more dreamlike than it ever did. That anything that's not here now just seems no different than any other dream I've had at night time. And sure, you can kind of see there's some kind of sense of continuum or something, but even that just seems so illusionary sometimes. That all I know is that this is here, and that I've got no explanation for it. And it's absolutely incredible. Like, I'm sitting here at a room at Hope Rehab where I work, and you can't see because the sun be too bright, but there's windows around me on three sides, and I'm surrounded by all of this nature, and it's absolutely astounding. Every leaf is astounding. Every body sensation is astounding to me. Every person that's in my life is astounding to me. It's all this incredible, huge miracle that I could never even begin to explain. And that's what happens, as I woke up to wonder, the idea of trying to explain it became more and more ridiculous. And I finally realized that it was my explanations that were causing the issue. And it's this kind of undermining, this process of undermining those explanations, to see that they were just completely ridiculous. They were based on nothing. That what's here is always indescribable. There's no way to describe it. There's no way to capture it. And it's the belief that it can be captured that's what's causing the discomfort. And when we undermine that, that's the end of the discomfort. So I just thought I'd make this short video today. I hope everyone's keeping well. And I invite you all to kind of just to look and see how incredible it is that this is all here. And how naive it is to think that we can explain it. That all of these explanations, they're groundless. They're not, they cannot be supported by the information that we're getting, or the thing that we're experiencing just doesn't support these assumptions when we look more honestly. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you again.